Passing the TOEFL is like climbing a mountain. Which path will take you to the top? Who will help you when you are tired and need water? Better TOEFL scores.
Yeah, hi. This is Michael Buckoff from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and right now I want to talk about a student. Now I figured I'm on my way to work. See this? I'm kind of driving on the freeway here. See the snow-covered mountains over there in the distance. But anyway, I'm driving to work. I figured I'd do this video to give you some basic ideas on the characteristics that I believe will help you get a good TOEFL score. Okay, first of all, I have a student who's at Better TOEFL Scores, and he's taking my lessons and practice tests, and he's actually doing two things successfully. He's understanding the lessons, he's putting things into practice, but he still has a few problems he's trying to overcome. So I want to talk about three areas right now, three things that he's working on. The first one is reading. The second one is speaking, and finally I want to talk about writing as it relates to this particular student. Okay, first of all, my student is learning some things about the reading on the TOEFL. He's learning that he doesn't need to focus on understanding all of the reading passage. Instead, he needs to focus on the main ideas and the most important supporting points. And that's specifically what he's trying to write down in terms of note-taking. And yes, taking notes during the reading section is advisable, and I've been working with him and getting him to do it, and it's helping him do much, much better on the practice test that he's taking. And right now, his score in the reading practice test is between 28 and 29 points out of 30, so he's definitely going in the right direction. Okay, let's talk about speaking. Now this guy's a hard worker. Each week he submits practice tests to be scored, and he gets feedback on them. And after doing these speaking practice tests at Better TOEFL Scores, he's learning a few things. And the thing that he's having difficulty with right now, it's organizing and responding to the speaking tasks, especially the independent speaking tasks, in 45 seconds. So he's trying to figure out how to do better in that area, but he is doing better. So we've been working hard on developing a topic statement, and then he's trying to discuss maybe the key points of the topic statement in maybe two different parts of the speech, and then he ends with a conclusion to try to sum up the most important ideas. So he's almost there, and I think a few more practice tests, he'll definitely get a good speaking score. All right, let's talk about writing. My student, as he's practicing the writing again, he's submitting writing samples, and he's getting his writing samples scored at BetterTOEFLScores.com. And here's what he's come to understand with the writing, and I agree with everything he's telling me here. He sent me a great post at Better TOEFL Scores this week, but basically he's learning that some of the best writing is simple writing. It's true. I have an expression I always tell my students, KISS, K-I-S-S. Remember with TOEFL writing, especially the independent writing task, keep it super simple. So it's important to have a clearly stated thesis in the beginning of the essay. Secondly, to include some topic sentences in the developmental paragraphs, which restate the key points made in the thesis, and then keep everything within each paragraph directly connected to the topic sentence of that paragraph. That's pretty simple. Basically, with TOEFL writing, you tell the reader what you want to write about, then you say it, and then in the conclusion you tell the reader what you just said. Now his difficulty with the writing, what he's coming to understand, and his score's not as high as he'd like it to be, but he's definitely going to get a high score. But here's the two challenges he has to overcome right now. He's working on using advanced vocabulary, and he's also working on using advanced grammar structures to express his ideas. He's already pretty organized. He knows how to support his general ideas with details and so on, but the vocabulary and the grammar is still a little bit difficult for him. But he's getting better. So what does this mean to you as a student? I think what you can learn from this student is some of the best TOEFL students out there. They're not necessarily the most intelligent or the hardest working, but they use their time wisely and they study very wisely. They're what I call, they're smart about how they do their homework. They're not necessarily doing too much homework. For example, you could study TOEFL 6 hours a day and not make much improvements at all if you're not studying the right kinds of things. On the other hand, you could actually study, 1 to 2 hours a day, but studying the right stuff and practicing the right things can actually make more of a difference. Now, additionally, I think that the last thing I want to point out here is another characteristic of being a good TOEFL student is to understand what your weaknesses are and to know how to overcome or improve those weaknesses. For example, my student already knows he's having trouble completing his speaking task in 45 seconds. That's a weakness he's working on. And he's also working on using more advanced grammar and advanced vocabulary during the writing section of the test. So, and that's what he's spending his homework time focusing on, is overcoming these specific problems. And guess what? I predict that it won't be long before this student gets above 100 on the TOEFL IBT. Believe it, and you can too. Again, thanks for watching my video, and for more information, you can go to my website at www.bettertoeflscores.com. I'll let you look at the scenery one more time.
Like choosing a pumpkin for a Halloween celebration in the United States, choosing the right TOEFL study plan can be confusing. So many websites, so many TOEFL preparation courses. Which one will you choose? Stop surfing the net looking for TOEFL courses. There is only one way to study TOEFL. The 7-step system to pass the TOEFL, designed by veteran TOEFL instructor and English professor from California State University, San Bernardino. Get your lesson today, pass the TOEFL IBT tomorrow.